Hey everyone, I thought I would just come on for a live today. I'm traveling for the weekend and I was inspired to talk about a few things that I like to do when I'm flying to keep my body feeling really good. So this little sequence that I'm going to do is great for when you're on an airplane, of course, but it's also really good if you're an office worker or somebody that spends a lot of time in a seat, or perhaps if you're a person that can't get out of their chair very often because of limited mobility or whatever it may be. So the exercises may seem very simple, but they're really effective. If you are on a flight and it is a long flight, you're there for a few hours, I recommend doing some of these exercises throughout your flight to keep your body moving. Flying is really a great, invention that we have, but it's really hard on our bodies, especially on those flights that are more than an hour or a few hours long. So let's get ourselves started. Wherever you are, if you're sitting down, when you're on an airplane, I know sometimes, especially if you're not beside someone that it can be a little bit awkward to do some movement. So maybe encourage them to do some movement with you. Start seated, and we're going to get moving our C-spine, our neck. Take your chin and tuck it in towards your chest. Follow your collarbone over towards one shoulder. Drop your ear behind you, and then lift your chin up and over to the other side. Turn your chin towards your shoulder, and then let's continue that circle. So going through these neck cars, controlled articular rotations, allowing yourself to take time if you feel a really good spot to stretch. And you can do as many as you like, going in all the different directions or each direction. I like to generally do between 3 or 4. And come back up towards the center. Let's go the other way. So tuck your chin again. Trace the collarbone. Look as far as you can. Drop your ear behind you. You might get some clicking and popping along the way. Just be mindful of how it feels if there's no pain. When we come to the closing angle side, so when you're really dropping your ear on this side, if there's pain there, be mindful of that and maybe just back off so that you're not getting that. Let's do one more. I should have really taken my jacket off. Feels so nice. I do these multiple times throughout the day. Coming back towards the center and lift your chin up. Great, let's move on to our shoulders. Hands can stay down in front of you or down by your side. Bring your shoulders as far forward as you can. Shrug them up in towards your ears, send them behind you, and then send them down. So we're working in our scapula. Come forward, lift the shoulders up, take them back, and then send them down. One more this way. Bring them forward, lift them up, take them back, and down. Now let's reverse. Lift them up, bring them forward, and down, and back. Ooh, I got a good crunch there. Up, forward, and down. And one more this way. Back, up, forward, and down. Now we're going to get into the rest of our spine. Feel your sits bones as planted as you can, hands on your knees. Inhale, lift the chest and gaze up towards the ceiling. Pull the shoulders behind you as much as you can. On your exhale, tuck your chin and round your spine. I did post this in my reels today. Inhale, seated cat-cows, look up, pull the shoulders behind you. And exhale, tuck the chin around the spine. Let's do a couple more. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, come back. And the really nice thing about all these exercises is you could do them together or you can do them on their own. Inhale, look up, open the chest. And exhale, come into your cat pose. Coming back into a neutral position. Now be mindful if you're beside someone while you're doing your shoulders. Lift those arms up over your head. If there's nobody beside you or you have space, pull the arms down like a cactus. This can be a little tricky on the plane. Inhale, arms lift up. And exhale, pull them down. Again, inhale, arms up. And exhale, pull it back down. One more time. Inhale, up. And exhale, pull them down. Now as we get into our hips, depending on the space that you have, I'm just going to move back here. Pull one knee in towards your chest as much as you can. So you're getting a little bit of compression here. Now I want you to stretch your leg out and down as much as you can. Point and flex your toes. You can't really see my feet. If you can take your shoes off, it is always really helpful to point and flex the toes. Do a few ankle circles, because then we're really going to challenge our mobility in our feet. Go the other way. And come back to neutral. Bend the knee in. Support your leg if you need to. And just shift the tibia from the knee in and out a few times, getting that knee joint moving. For me, my knees always are what start to ache on a long flight when I haven't moved them. Lovely job. Now, if you have enough space, cross that ankle over top of your thigh. Take your hands onto your shin, your knee, wherever you are. Sit as tall as you can. Stick your booty out behind you and hinge forward. We're targeting in the outside of the hip here. Again, I know when you're on a plane, maybe sometimes if there's someone beside you that you don't know, it can get a little bit awkward. Just do your best to get some of the movement in. If you're at home or you're seated, these are really great at the office as well. And come back up and stretch or put that leg down. Let's come on to the other side. Pull the knee in towards you and then stretch the leg out. You can hold onto the thigh. Straighten the leg as much as you can. Point and flex a few times. I do recommend you taking your shoes off. I have bare feet and I'm in an airport, so I don't really want to do that right at the moment. Good, go the other way. Feels great. If you're doing this along with me, give me a thumbs up if it's feeling good. Okay, bend the knee in. Flex the toes. Now we're moving just from the knee to the heel. So we're shifting the tibia in and out, moving that knee joint a little bit more. One more time. And cross the ankle over. Good. I'm glad it feels good. Open up that knee. Press down a little bit as you inhale. Sit tall. Sits bones back, hinging forward. I do this one multiple times on a flight or throughout the day when I've been sitting in a chair for a long time. Take a few more breaths here. Lovely job. Coming all the way back up. Don't forget about your wrists. Thumbs tuck in, fingers over top, a few wrist circles. And the other way. And there you have it. That's a little quick mobility or movement that you can do while you are flying on a flight or while you're just seated for a really long time. I want to give you a couple of other tips that I have or things that I like to do when I'm flying to help my body feel really good. So the first thing is water bottle. Travel with a water bottle. Most airports have a spot that you can fill up your water bottle, so you can't be full when you're going through security. But after you're through security, there's usually a spot that you can fill it up. You need, especially on those longer flights, you need hydration. And you want to make sure that, they give you those tiny little cups of water. Stay away from the pops and all the juices if you can, alcohol, and hydrate yourself with water. I will drink this whole thing in an hour. So you want to make sure that you are hydrating yourself. Another little tip, I should have got this out before I started, it's in my purse, is I used to be a person that got really, really sick. Well, I still do get motion sick when I am flying, and I had to drug myself. And it was, I feel like 2017, the first time that I started using peppermint oil for my nausea while I was flying. So I bought these inhalers. I got them on Amazon. It's just like it's a glass tube inside there. Try to open it. Okay, I'm not opening it. So inside it's a glass tube with like a little cotton ball thing. And inside I put a few drops, maybe, I don't know, like 5 or 6 drops of peppermint oil, pure essential oil, peppermint oil in here. And then it has these little holes here. So then when I'm flying, especially during takeoff and landing seems to be the biggest thing that makes me feel a little queasy. I just put this underneath my nose and smell it. I also will rub oil right on my tummy if I'm feeling a little bit extra nauseous or if there's turbulence. Changed my life. I no longer have to use any type of drugs like, Gravel or whatever it was. I used to use those patches that are just awful really on our bodies. And this way I can be thinking clearly, I'm not sleepy, and I feel great when I'm flying. The third thing that I know maybe not everybody will like this advice that I like to give to help your body, especially when you're going on a flight, like a long flight, over an hour. If you're not a person that gets up a lot during the time you're on the plane, which I do recommend getting up and walking the aisle at least every hour. But the biggest tip, or the bigger tip that I can give you, is that when you're going on a flight is don't sit down very long before you get on the plane. So what do we all do? We get to the airport, we find one of our spots, we plop our butts down, and we sit there for hours before we actually get on the plane that we're going to be sitting for hours. So do something for your body. Get yourself organized. I don't know, maybe if you're gonna get yourself a coffee or something, walk around before you get on the plane, because you know you're going to be sitting for a really long time. So those are just a few of the things that I like to do to keep my body feeling great. And there was your little mobility yoga class for the week that you can do while you're flying, while you're traveling, or just at home or at the office. So thanks so much for joining me on this impromptu live, and I hope you have a great weekend.